Don't miss the brand new Custode Vertus Praetor Jetbike.
Spiking bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. It's Custodes Wave 2 weekend. I'm Robbie B, and today, continuing, we're going over the new Custode releases. These are the Jetbikes. These are the ones everybody's talking about. $60 kit from Games Workshop, and of course, following along with their business model, this kit can make two different units. There is no flying standard, which would be kind of crazy if there was. However, you can make a shield captain out of this kit as well as just a normal jet bike dudes right there. And you can see a lot of different options. You can put the salvo launcher on there with those crazy melta missiles, or just the normal hurricane bolters in and of itself. So 3 models in this box right here. These guys, this is pretty interesting. This is a pretty interesting kit. First off, I had no idea that they came with 2 different types of bases. It's your choice which base you want to use here. So you can use the normal GW 60 mil round flying stance with the little ball joint sockets that we saw first with the Dark Eldar release 7 years ago, I guess. No, not quite 7 years ago. It was November of 2011, I believe. So coming up on 7 years, but nonetheless, this is pretty dynamic to what they've come up with. Now, I guess you can also use the 75 mil ovals as well, depending on what you want to do. I guess you'd have to slice that off of there and kind of glue it on. I don't know. I don't know which one's right. I feel like I like unpainted, or I like painted stuff. I like putting texture on things, and I don't know how top heavy these are. We're gonna build one and find out, I guess, which idea is better. We'll check both options. How's that? I feel like that's a good solid offer here, right? And then you've got the instruction manual and the 3 sprues themselves. But check this out. These 3 sprues, you notice anything? They're literally almost all identical, except for the switch up of the poses. So you can obviously pick out big components all being the same in here, but then there's different components here as well. Like you can see where the head is different right here as opposed to this area. So depending on which pose it is, there's going to be a different one. So one of these is the shield captain. I couldn't tell you which one right off the top of my head, but I guess the one with the blank head, I guess he's the shield captain. I don't know. But either way, that's pretty neat as well to kind of look at. Let's check out the instruction manual and see just how crazy these are to put together. So it looks like the missile / hurricane bolter assembly is 2 different things right here. You got 2 different left halves as well. Kind of expected that. There's not going to be a wheel to go in the middle, of course, but there's going to be that crazy looking eagle type thing that's going to all lock together. And back to the front, you're going to have to put the other side of the eagle on with whatever weapon option you want there. Your fairings all over the place, and it looks like the kickstands, or the foot pegs, I guess. Top vertical stabilizer. I don't know why jetbikes have an exhaust design-wise. You just put it out through the thrust, but okay. There's exhaust there, and obviously it looks very cool. It harkens back to Samael's jetbike, I suppose. But that is kind of puzzling from an engineering standpoint, I suppose. Grimdark, it's only crazy if it doesn't work, right? And then there's the top cowling to cover up what I can only assume is the internal engine parts, and then the exhaust comes back to here to thrust afterburners or whatever they are in the Grimdark future, I suppose. And then as far as your rider goes, it's gonna be, looks like a torso with legs that go on separate, front and left half, or top or front and back half of torso. Your handlebars looks like they actually contain the hands themselves, and then the arms are going to attach right there. So that's that'll be kind of tricky gluing that together, because you want to paint this guy separate, but you want to make sure that the specific one goes on the specific jet bike, because one side of the handlebars is going to have a hand, one side isn't. So I guess you just got to line it up when you go to, if you don't glue them all down. Me personally, I will not glue that guy down, so we'll just have to figure that out. And then it looks like the hip plate is going to include a little bit of cape action there. And then you have your choice of head with tassel. Then it goes to the Interceptor Lance with your choice of shoulder pad. So very, seemingly easy kit to put together. But here's one thing I did notice, that once again, just like we saw with the dwarven ships for the Caradon Overlords, this, where you put the nub for the flying stand, is right here. So you're gonna have to be very careful that you glue this very tightly so you get it nice and snug and secure, so that you're, you know, when you put your jet bike on, it just doesn't, you know, just kind of lean forward. So that will take some, or you can magnetize it, I suppose. Trim that off right there and give it a magnet, which will make more sense. I don't think there was any other gotchas as far as just reading through the instructions goes. It's your choice, and again, your choice there, left or right. Which base do you want? I don't know. All right, well, let's get our glue out, assume the hobby position, and get one of these put together. All right, woo! We got one of these bad boys together, and he is super fresh. Check this guy out. Now, quick caveat: check your weapons there. We got a little droopy. I didn't realize that glued in, kind of slanted downwards, but that's all right. Nobody will see it. I got a few more of these guys to put together, and it won't be a thing at that point. But just to give you a heads up right there, those can get away from you pretty quick. There might be a way to magnetize this inside if you keep the top piece off and work some magnet action down there. I don't know, but I kind of feel like I'm just going with the bolter, so it didn't quite matter for me. But I'm not saying that you can't. I would definitely take a look at that if you're really into super finite magnetizing of stuff like that. Overall, this goes together. 21 pieces for the bike, 14 pieces for the rider. Oh yeah. Now here's the gotcha. Just like we said, there is a little handlebar, or the hand is on the handlebar right there. So when you make your guy, if you're going to paint them separate, just remember to not glue them down to the bike, and you're just going to have to make sure you get a nice tight fit right there, so that when you are ready to glue them down, or maybe you never do, that it will be right there. Just remember to paint that gold right there, because I'm sure your handlebar will be quite a different color. Down here, just putting it together normally, it looked like the socket was very well done, so we just put this right in, and it's good to go. I mean, this guy, you can do all sorts of crazy poses. You have to kind of push it down a little bit, like you put it in, and then you almost have to push it down to get it to stick, and then you can do like the crazy poses and like that. That's how a Custode jet bike sound, if you didn't know. Now, you probably noticed the elephant in the room right now. Look at that spear. Like, how the heck are you supposed to store these? And then the other one, they're straight up at like a 45 straight up, which would definitely make, well, I guess you already figured it out, but I guess that would make storing these pretty hard. But not if you magnetize it. That's right. Get out your pin vices, throw a couple magnets in there. Those are 1/8 inch magnet by 1/16 tall. Very easy to work with. I got a whole stack of them right here. You just put 2 in there, 1 each side. You all good to go. I got my double pin vices. You drill your pilot hole, then drill your main hole right there, and just slide it in until you get to the recess. And you all know how to magnetize by now. We got plenty of tutorials on it, but it is very doable. And 1/8 inch magnet is very strong, unless you drop your jet bike on the table right there. But it's very strong. So you know, you can do somewhat different of poses, but the way that the arms are angled themselves, you're not gonna really be able, like, as much as I would like to do it like that, it's not gonna look quite right, but you could. But it's designed to be locked in here, and kind of is sort of supported by the cape back there. Overall, like I said, I think this is a fantastic miniature once you get it put together. There is a little bit of time doing all of this. Like I said, 21 pieces, 14 pieces for the rider. It's basically a mini squad in and of itself to kind of put together there. And then, of course, you have your choice of which, you know, if you want to go with the flight stem, or what do they call this, the 75mm oval right there. So let's see how good they are rules wise. Now, as far as points go, these guys, well, here's their data sheets. They are 80 point stock, with 10 points for the Hurricane Bolter, which I would assume most people would take. If you want to take them missiles, you would only have to pay 25 more points. So 105 if you want the missiles, $90 if you only want the Hurricane Bolters. Interceptor Lance is free. Now let's break this down real quick. So they are 15 power level, which is a lot. But if you look at their wound count here, there are 4 wounds, so they're basically 2 Terminators. So that makes sense point-wise. Their movement is a whopping 14, which, yeah, I guess is a Jetbike normally. So they're going to automatically go an extra 6 if you advance. That's normal for Jetbikes that we've seen. May take a Misericordia. Don't think it's worth the points personally. Hurricane Bolter all day. Rapid Fire 6. That's going to do some work. Mark my words right there. You could take the Melta Missile or the Flak Burst Missile, you know, your choice of which one you want to use when you use the Salvo Launcher. They're obviously very great at cracking armor and stuff, but look at this Interceptor Lance. +1 strength, -3 AP, D3 damage, reroll failed wound rolls for this weapon when it charges. So it's almost like it's got a built-in the lieutenant ability, which there isn't one of those in this book unless you just take Valorous and he rerolls everything or ones of everything. I like that. That's solid. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to do my damage. 6 strength of 6. Yeah, I like that. I like that stat line right there. I like the versatility of this. Overall, it just seems like if you compare this to, say, the Guardians, which have 5, 3, 4. What do the Wardens have attack wise? I already forgot. I think they were a 4 attack. 5, 3, 4. Yeah, they were a 4 attack. So they were 49 points plus weapon. These are 90 points with the weapon. So it's almost like you're getting charged 40 points for a Jetbike. Shield Captain on Dong Eagle Jetbike is 150, which also makes sense because I think the Shield Captain we just talked about in the Warden's box was 110. And he is obviously a G. He's going to allow you to reroll hits of 1. So if he stays tight with these guys, they're going to be rerolling 1s to hit. That doesn't matter whether it's a shooting or assault. It's going to work for both. That's pretty cool. And, well, he's really good. 7 wounds with 5 attacks. Toughness is 6. Strength of 5. These guys... It's 4 wounds, toughness is 6. They're going to have a 4-up invulnerable if you take them in a Battleforged detachment. Let me not misspeak there. Yes, they have Aegis of the Emperor, so they will have that ability out of the Codex. I feel like that is super solid. If you can keep them as close as you can to a Vexilla, you're going to be -1 to shoot them as well. They do have fly, so that gives them some options to fall back and still shoot. They will not be able to assault again, but they will be at -1 to shoot because they have fallen back, so they'll be at hitting basically on 3s, but you can reroll 1, so I guess it's good math all the way around to do that. If you have to withdraw for some reason and then charge back in, you might as well there. So that is pretty much it for the rules. We've showed you the models. Now it's time to build the rest of the box and get some of these for the tabletops. Now, if you like these type of unboxing, build, and reviews, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that notifications icon so you can be the very first to like and comment on all other videos as soon as they drop.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.